Let's go live to James Morrow, host of the US Report, our colleague on Sky News. James, how has this election race been reset? How do you reflect on the events of the last 48 hours?
Well, I think we need to go back to the events of a month ago when we had that debate there, that ill-fated debate. Everything kicked off from that. It became very clear that Joe Biden couldn't continue in the race, and some would say even in the presidency, but we're sort of in this halfway house now. The events of the last 24, 48 hours have done a couple of things. They've reset the race back in the Democrats' favor temporarily. A lot of the stuff around the assassination, around the good fast attempt, the good feeling around J.D. Vance, and a lot of the coalescing of the Republicans around that, that's no longer the big news story. Now the big news story is really Kamala Harris. I think Joe Biden's speech, it felt very valedictory. It was like the retirement speech you give when you're not actually retiring. He's going to hang out there for 6 months. But if you were listening to him speak, he had a hard time even getting through that just on a teleprompter. You could see the look of fear in his eye when the word existential popped up, and he had to sort of manage his way through that one. So, he's not in great shape. He's clearly not in great shape, even in that very controlled environment. As Annalise was saying, it was very hard to tell what he was saying, and, his volume was not great and all of that. So, really now the whole focus has got to be on Kamala Harris and where does the race go from there. And I can tell you that within Republican circles, there's a couple of schools of thought. One is that they've had this whole effective campaign of demonizing Kamala Harris as kind of a dingbat and all the wacky things that she says. But there's another theory emerging that she's actually quite a canny player in all of this to have gotten so far, no matter how she got her start in politics, and that she's gotten this far because of some, ability to be a bit of a shapeshifter. And having done that, the focus has to be on what her record has been in public life. And that is one of really a lot of very hard left policies, failures at the border, and that this is where the Republicans need to go now, focusing on that issue with Kamala Harris, less of the sort of the goofy stuff and the yellow school buses and all of that.